Okay. Let's see if I know what I'm doing. Alright, looks like I might. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and... Taltos, how's it going, buddy? Sorry, Lord Taltos. The Lord is important. I am just finishing getting some stuff set up here real quick. It's almost like I should be more prepared or something. But that's silly. Okay, and then... There we go. Okay, I don't know if I told you your new coworker is an ex-NASA engineer. He designed and implemented life support and emergency oxygen systems. That's awesome. Also, welcome MiniShini. And the account on YouTube says Shini Wifey, but it is MiniShini using her account. Get painting already. Wow. I was making sure I had everything set up. God, rude. My wet palette's not even ready. I gotta get the little thing ready. The little sheet. And then we'll switch camera views so you guys can actually see what I'm painting. I really want to get like a top-down name the game. I mean, it's kind of the Age of Empires 2. Start the game already. Like that's what I was picturing in my head when you said that. Bingo. Okay, but yeah, I want like a top-down camera. I think that'd be pretty nifty. Cause like, I don't know, you can't really see my table while I'm doing stuff. Also, I'm using a different chair than I was last week. It's glitching on you again like last time. Dang. I think it's mommy's laptop. I don't know. Like that pause? I mean, I just paused in my speech right there. Or is it like when I switch scenes? Is that the glitch you're talking about? I don't if she's talking about the pause or not. And Offset, I don't know if you were here when I mentioned it, but Shini Wifey on the YouTube account, Shini Wifey, is it basically paused and pulled you out of live. Interesting. Wonder if I'm streaming at too high of a frame rate. Or frame rate, wow, bit rate. Too high of a frame rate. Yeah, I'm at like, I think I'm at 30 frames per second. I'm streaming at too high of a frame rate. That doesn't make any sense. But yeah, I might have the bit rate up too high on YouTube. Possibly. I don't know if that's easy for me to change in the stream settings. I was behind live view after the pause. I didn't miss anything, but I was no longer live. Interesting. I don't know if I can change my stream settings. It just shows you a loading screen. I don't know. I don't see a way I can change it. I was trying to... Not the switch. Oh, I see what you're saying. Not when I'm switching scenes. Okay. So yeah, it may be my bitrate's too high. According to YouTube, I'm well within the specs. Yeah, I don't know why it adds, like, it adds numbers after some people's names, but not others. Like, both Lord Taltos and Shini Wifey's accounts are just their names. I wonder if there's somewhere you can go to, like, it just completely pauses. Yeah, I'm sorry, MiniShini. I'm not sure what to do there. Because I don't think... Can I change it in here? Yeah, it won't let me change it while I'm streaming. I'll have to remember that for next time and turn it down. Well, when Mom gets back in there, she can put it up on the TV too, and then it'll probably be easier for you to watch. Okay, let's go ahead, switch to the double zoom. And Bella Banks is watching at least. I'm sure she is. Okay, I gotta make sure I'm at like the right height here. So I have, that's fairly centered. Okay. I'm trying to make sure that my hands are in the right positions while I'm doing this. So we did a lot of work on this model last week. There's still some details on her face that I think I can clean up. Her sword isn't terribly detailed, and I didn't paint like the handle at all. Some of the leather, like her pouch here, I didn't add any detail to. I actually picked up some new paints just to add some details there. The TV shows what already happened. It goes slow. Oh, the TV's behind too? Interesting. Okay, well then next time I will just have to turn down my bitrate for YouTube some. I'm trying to think what else we actually need to do for this model. Because honestly, she's like mostly done, just not quite all the way there. But I do think I'm going to work on her face a little bit. It's just not quite, it's not quite where I want it to be. Man, what color did I finish with last time? I don't think I got up to Barbarian Flesh. Maybe. But for some reason I was thinking... I think I made it up to Buffed Hide. I think that's the brighter color I used for her face. Paint the rocks. I mean, I got them to look kind of like rocks. I know you were wanting them to be green, but I don't really know if I have a good... I don't think I have a good green for that. I was trying to see if I had like a green wash of some kind, but I don't see one. I could maybe thin down like one of my speed paint greens. Maybe. Might work. And just kind of tint what I already painted green. I don't know if green rocks are going to look very good though. I know that's what you were wanting, but that was the last model that I wanted to have green rocks. I thought it was this one. Because the other one didn't have any rocks. I might be able to do like these highlights are pretty rough. I could probably do some transition between, like I can thin down some in-between colors there and kind of glaze it over it so that it fades into the other shade a little bit more smoothly. Because it's, I don't know, you can kind of see, like, especially right here, like those color transitions are pretty rough. I didn't blend it at all. I can hear my wife screaming at her PC in the other room. She's in a high-level Final Fantasy XIV raid. I'm assuming death. Oh, man. I've actually been kind of wanting to play some Final Fantasy XIV again recently. It's been a bit since I've played it. Let's see. She has some... I'm going to go ahead and start with the buffed hide. I'm going to start with her face. I'm going to get as much of the face done as I can. She had recently, I say recently, it's probably been months now, but she had posted a little while back. She had like all of the like, was it all the crafting classes like maxed out on Final Fantasy XIV? She has every class fully maxed up, everything. Okay, I couldn't remember if that was the case or not. That was my first thought, but then I was like, that's pretty ambitious. I was like, surely that's not correct. But it was. So that's pretty impressive. Is she mostly just trying to get like better gear now? Or is she waiting on new classes to come out? There was a new expansion semi-recently, wasn't there? She's just playing every week, multiple times a week. There's 3,875 hours on record since she moved from the Square launcher to 14. So probably double that. Now your thing is kind of messing up the words that are popping up from 14 on Steam. I'm assuming, I assumed you meant on Steam. Sorry, I didn't read it out loud that way, but when you said from Square launcher to 14, I assumed you meant to Steam as the launcher, not from Square launcher to 14. And I'm sorry, MiniShini. I don't have a way to fix that for you. You're just gonna have to try to be patient with it. That's the best I got for you. Should be the next shade up in highlighting for the face. Father has failed you. Rise up, strike him down. I mean, I went up there and set it up for her. She's on Shini Wifey's laptop watching past her bedtime because we allow it. As Shini Wifey is trying to get Shini Baby 2.0 into bed. That's your fault, got it. I mean, it is probably my fault, but I'm pretty sure it's because my bitrate's too high. It's kind of an older work laptop that she's using. Definitely not anything I would have picked. Necrotomb, how's it going, buddy? Welcome. We're just kind of getting started here. I tried to catch one of your streams the other day, Necrotomb. You had started like right as I was driving home from work, and then after I got home, I didn't have a good chance to sit down and watch, so I apologize. I did have it up while I was driving, so you at least had a lurker for a bit, but I was not able to pay very good attention, so I apologize. I'm also testing a different webcam angle because I got really annoyed with, I had the webcam like straight in front of me, like the other camera's actually still sitting there. It's a little action camera guy. Oh, I guess I could hold it up in front of here. A little cheap. I think I got this thing for like 50 or 60 bucks. But it works pretty decent as a webcam. Of course, of course. Gonna need to paint her lips at some point. probably want to paint her eyebrows, and I might go all the way in to paint her eyes. They're pretty small though. So pretty tiny. We'll see. But I do need to paint the handle of the sword, and I really think I want to work on smoothing out some of these highlights a little bit. I did this pretty rough. So we had started with the darkest, Timblegate Teal. Then I believe we worked our way up through Pharaoh Guard and then Aqua Alchemy as our base midtone and highlight. So we're going to start with Pharaoh Guard this time and kind of spread out those. I'm going to water it down a bit. I'm going to try to glaze it, but I'm not very good at thinning my paint to the right consistency for glazing. But by golly, I'm going to try. It's like too much water. Can you have one? Can you have one wet? Feels too painty. Let's thin that down even more. Gonna go extra thin. That's better, I think. It probably looks like I'm doing a whole lot of nothing right here. Binks is screaming. What do you do? What do you mean she's screaming? I guess let her out of the room if she's in there with you still. It is difficult. She was meowy yelling. That does sound like our cat. But it is difficult for me to get my paint at like a glaze consistency. I'm not very good at getting it down to that level. Like, I think I've got it pretty good right here, but at this stage right here, it doesn't really look like it's changing much on the model. It really does. And glazing is one of those things that you really just like need to practice a lot, and I don't practice I usually leave my highlights like pretty rough. I usually blend them in. So I don't really get a lot of glazing practice. I do think the mid-tone is not quite as drastic of a blend now. Probably not quite done here, but like you can barely tell that there's like much color on my brush. But I promise you, there's a little bit. Oh my gosh, that barely shows up on my thumbnail. That means I probably have it pretty close to the right consistency. Now you can't see your words. I'm sorry, MiniShini. I'll have to have Mom help you once she gets in there. In case anyone is thinking I'm crazy, well, yes, that is true. There are less reasons for it right now. MiniShini, my daughter, is using Shini Wifey's YouTube account to watch and chat. Is that too much? No, it's still pretty good, I think. Cape looks good. Thank you. Thank you. I want to blend the highlights just a hair more. What in the Thursday stream? That's right, Anthony. Today is a Thursday stream. Because we were unfortunately expecting some nasty weather yesterday that didn't quite end up being as nasty as what we were foretold. There was some light storming, but we have 2 dogs that absolutely freak out with any kind of storm and fireworks and stuff. So much so that we have to drug them hours ahead of time so that they don't just absolutely demolish the house. And at least one child that is not fond of thunderstorms either. So, to not leave Shini Wifey alone with the, well, all of that, I decided that I was going to postpone the stream so that I could help last night. Reasonable of the dogs to rave during a thunderstorm. All you see is Shini Wifey, #3. Well, you know. Oh, crown #3. You don't see other people chatting? But yeah, Beowulf and Hank go absolutely berserk during thunderstorms. You do see other people? Oh, you probably see Anthony Swisher. You probably don't see Necrotomb though, because he's chatting on Twitch. So his is going to be, his chat is gonna be on screen, but not in the YouTube chat window. Your dog's the same? Yeah, one of our dogs is perfectly fine. She's just like staring at them like, what are you guys doing? You guys are idiots. The storm can't get us. And then the other two, like Beowulf, they're all rescues, and you never really know like what has happened with a rescue or like what their life was like before or anything. But we are like 90% sure that Beowulf was like abused by his previous owners. Let's see. Get this at a pretty, yeah, that's a pretty thin consistency. Obviously, you know, we don't have any proof, but we are pretty sure. He constantly, like, he acts like he's just been beaten in the past. And we're pretty sure he's been, you know, yelled at. I think he's afraid that we're going to yell at him when it's storming and stuff. And yeah, I mean, you know, we'll be like, hey, you know, get off the couch and stuff, or get off the, you know, he tries to climb up on the table, or I mean, he freaks out. And when I say on the couch, we don't care if he's like laying on the couch, but he will like climb up on like the top of the couch and be like trying to tear down the wall. He goes pretty berserk. Siren gets scared of the lightning and wakes us up by putting her nose in our face with something in her mouth, usually a dirty sock, and wags her tail wildly until we respond. I wish Beowulf was that gentle. I believe you've met him once or twice, but he is about 100-pound German Shepherd, and he is as sweet as can be. But when he is panicking because of storms and or fireworks, he basically like if it starts in the middle of the night, he just leaps on top of you while you're sleeping. He is a big boy. That is an accurate statement. But yeah, so he just, you know, leaps on top of you, crushing your internal organs, breaking your rib cage, you know, things like that. Normal, ordinary things for a dog to do. And then the whole time he is like screeching. He is like freaking out. Like he sounds like a seal. And you cannot get him to calm down. You cannot get him to not be freaking out. That's just how he is until you get him drugged up. And then we got Hank as a foster, and he's like a, I don't know, 70 to 80 pound lab mix. And he's basically the same way. He's a little bit older, and he's not quite as active, so he doesn't go quite as crazy with the like jumping on you in bed and stuff. But yeah, Hank the cow dog. that's one of our mini nicknames for him. He's also a great dog. He's a really nice boy. But yeah, he panics, he freaks out. Both of them have basically tried to claw their way through doors. He freaked out once, and even though he was in the room with us, he just started panicking, and he was trying to claw through the closet door. They are sweet. Butterscotch can be rude. She does like to bark at people. She's the one that really doesn't, like, storms don't bother her or anything. But she can definitely be a rude girl. Broke through your cabinet. That's true. He did break her cabinet. You don't demean that sweet baby. Earlier, when I was trying to help get the get stuff set up for MiniShini so she could watch the stream, I hear Shini Wifey yelling from the other room, "Who's chewing a bone outside our door?" And I go look in the hallway, and it's Butterscotch with a bone, literally like laying on the floor next to the baby's room door, chewing the bone just as loud as can be, right there. And yeah, I had to get her to stop. Monster. That's true. I am a monster. That is a little bit more than I was wanting to get right there. Feel like my highlights, like, I feel like this is blending a lot better. Like, it's not perfect, but I'm pretty happy with how well this kind of, I'm doing a technique called glazing for those of you unfamiliar, and this kind of, it's a really, really thin watered down layer of paint that you basically brush over, like, the transition between, like, the really bright highlights and the next shade down. And it helps them blend together better. You know, monster, I'm assuming you meant I'm sweet, but MiniShini, you spelled I'm sweat. She's only 8, so we'll cut her a little bit of slack. And I heard some footsteps, so I think Shini Wifey is going to be up there soon. There you go. That is correct. Sweet with 2 E's. All right. I like this cloak. It's a very flowy cloak. It's got all the folds and wrinkles in it. Like, this is just a really nice looking cloak. Like, I'm not even just talking about, like, the paint job. Like, I think I painted it pretty well. But wait, what? Shini Wifey redeemed. What did she redeem? Oh, hydrate. Oh, yep. Shini Wifey's on Twitch now. Luckily, I brought my water bottle. But just, yeah, the way this cloak is designed, like, this model is from DM Stash, like Dungeon Master Stash, on My Mini Factory. I want to say the file is normally like $6 or something like that, and I think I picked up several, like, cool models like this during, they had like a 50% off sale a little while back. But just the way they modeled this cape is really cool. I love I love the flow of it. I mean, I love the whole model, honestly, but like the way she's lunging forward, the cape's kind of blowing out behind her, but it's also just, I don't know, it's got all the flaps and folds and everything. Can I have a cloak like that? Yeah, that would be really cool. We're gonna have to get you a good cloak for Renaissance fairs. Oh yeah, I painted that with skeleton bone. I want to do a little bit of highlights with pale sand on top of that. On the fur on the top of her cloak. And I don't need much. I feel like I say that a lot, and it's pretty much always true. Like I'm grabbing like tiny little drops of paint here. Like that's a tiny amount of paint, and that's probably sorry. That's probably way more than what I actually need. All right. I don't have too much water on my brush. And basically, I just want to hit some of the fur. Give it some extra contrast and definition. Especially on any of the bits that are kind of sticking out a little bit. What's everyone else up to tonight? I know MiniShini is snuggled upstairs with her mother's laptop. I am imagining Anthony is probably getting ready to play some games, if he's not already. Voodoo fishing. Playing voodoo fishing. Welcome, Garrick. He told me he downloaded that game the other night. I haven't... Oops, sorry, I'm a little bit over too far. You're playing some KDM. Kingdom Death... Is it just Kingdom Death miniatures? Wait, is that right? Kingdom Death? Kingdom Death minis? Kingdom Death monsters? I don't remember what... I know what the game is. Kingdom Death Monster. Okay, I got it right at the end. You painted earlier. Nice, nice. So are you playing right now? Is it like a solo game? Or are you with somebody? I've never played it. I don't have any of the models. I have to look up what that voodoo fishing game is that they're talking about. Those weirdos. There we go. Like, I think the fur looks a lot cooler with those little bits of highlights and stuff painted on. It's 1 to 4 players. Oh, neat. Okay. So it's a solo slash cooperative game. I've actually been getting into quite a few of those. I'm making dessert for 1. And then MiniShini, no mom, for 2. I also like the fur, but Shini Wifey, you were probably away for a bit, you know, helping get Shini Baby down. But I did a little bit of blending on the highlights on the cloak. I did a technique called glazing where you really thin down like you water down your paints a lot, and then you kind of brush over like the transition between the two colors, like where you have the brightest highlight and then the next shade down. And I think it came out pretty good. I'm not very good at glazing, and this is still probably like a rough job. This is not like a super smooth, perfect transition by any means, but I'm pretty happy with how it's looking. It looked a lot rougher when I started, I believe. I'll have to take some pictures and do like a side-by-side comparison afterwards. But yeah, I like the fur. I really like the cape. I like her hair too. I was really going for that, like, that look where it's like, it almost looks unnatural, almost like it's like actually like fire or lit up like it's on fire. So I'm pretty happy with that. I've got a little bit of more work to do on her face. Do I need to add any detail? Like, her trench coat is basically just one coat of brown. I haven't added any highlights or anything. And then the handle of her sword needs some details. But honestly, the Swordswoman is mostly done. There's not a lot more to do. I did pick up a couple of new browns. So I got, well, I say browns, that one's kind of a tan. But all three of these are labeled as, I guess they're out of order, but they're labeled as browns on the scale. So I got bootstrap brown, leather brown, and paratrooper tan. But yeah, they're all on the scale for browns. But I'm going to take some paratrooper tan and add some highlights to her coat, and maybe like the little leather pouch she has here. And then that way it'll stand out a little bit from her chest plate that I also determined was leather. And then I think maybe I can work on, I might work on her eyes and her eyebrows and her lips. So a little bit of work on her face to do. And then, oh, and the handle of her sword. And then she's probably done, and we'll start working on something else. We're poor. I just saw that. Mom's wrong. I didn't spend that much on paint. I only bought a couple. And luckily, Army Painter is Army Painter is one of the more affordable paint brands. They had some new paints there. They had P3 paints. They had like a starter set for P3. They had me buying $300 in Gundam Assemble minis. I also want to buy some Gundam Assemble minis. I haven't yet. Are any of them available here yet? I don't think I can get them at my local store. Or are they just like pre-order available? Maybe. I haven't actually checked if I can pre-order them. They went up for pre-order. Okay, good. I need to check with my store then and pre-order something. They also announced a whole bunch of new stuff for Legion at Adepticon, and I'm very excited. They have like a whole Mandalorian factions now, including like a custom build your own faction. You're poor now too. Be too much of a Maybe it'll be a little less stark when it dries. I don't know. That's very... That might have been too late. No, I got a new job. He did get a new job. He was telling me about that recently. You've been there about 2 weeks now? I believe. How do you pick up your cooler of fish? Oh, he's playing that fishing game. Voodoo fishing. Anthony, wrong chat. A week? Okay. So not quite as long as I thought. But yeah, Legion announced Mandalorians, like an Imperial army where you can have like the mud troopers and stuff, not just stormtroopers, but you can have like the generic soldier guys, like from the Solo movie, which I know a lot of people were very excited about those models coming. I'm listening. Sorry, I missed what you said. Oh, what's your guys' favorite show? Let them. They might respond. MiniShini, you gotta give them time. Oh, you were asking me how to pick up the cooler of fish? It's probably E. You probably got to look at it and press E. But some games like to use F as the interact button, so it could be that. Yeah, I'm really excited for the Gundam Assemble stuff, and their pricing is, they're still not like cheap by any means, don't get me wrong, but you also don't need more than a handful, like, to have like a force. I don't know what they're calling them, like an army, basically. Like you only need 4 or 5, I believe, for most of them. I guess there could be bigger game modes that I'm not aware of, but obviously everyone's going to want to buy more Gundams, but it's not like you're paying like, you know, $60 a box in most cases, unless you're getting like a whole set of several. They're not as expensive as Warhammer, is what I'm getting at here. Gundams have been, I mean, there are very expensive Gundams too, but a lot of Gundams are on the budget-friendly side of pricing. Trying to get the edge of this coat without also hitting the leg armor, and it is proving to be kind of difficult. Got like 3 editions plus the Gundam Wing mini kits plus a few Zaku's. Dang. You did buy a few sets. I'm probably only going to get like 1 set to start with. That's hard. There's lots. Some very scary, not scary. Oh boy, wish you luck. Wait, hold on. What did Necrotomb say before that? I buy so much minis and paints. Oh, that's when we were talking about being poor. Yes. I buy a lot of minis. It's been a little bit since I've bought any minis though. I've been pretty good lately. I did buy a chair recently. Originally it was meant to replace the chair that I was using here, which is not the chair that I'm currently sitting in. But for once, the chair was actually too tall. It was not too tall for me before. It was not too tall for me, but it was too tall for the desk. The lowest height setting on the chair was like my perfect height for sitting at. But like the handles, like the elbow rests and everything were too high. Not for me, but they were too high for the desk. And so I was like, well, I could raise the desk another like inch or two, but basically like I would have been like kind of hunched over like this to sit in it. But then if I raised the desk, then Shiny Wifey would not ever be able to sit at the desk and paint with me anymore. And I was like, I don't like that idea. So I swapped the chairs. The new chair is at my computer desk, and my computer chair, the one that I actually got for like from streaming forever ago, my old DX Racer from back in the old days when I used to stream Dragon Ball Z Dokkan Battle. Back then, when I got that chair, I'm using that chair over here now. You're gonna convince Mom to watch Harry Potter 5? Oh, and yeah, Taltos was talking about Project Hail Mary. I really want to see that movie. I'm so excited for it. I've been watching the trailers and stuff for months now. I'm really excited for that one. I believe we're gonna go see the new Super Mario movie pretty soon. Let's see. I think I'm done with the leather. Gotta paint her handle on her sword. I don't want to pull out the metallics yet. Just considering it. Okay, so what we're gonna do... we're gonna grab some oak brown. We're gonna not exactly do non-metallic metal, but we are... I don't want to use my metallics right now. So some really watered down brown to start with. I'm gonna do a really rough non-metallic metal. Dang, I keep getting too far over, sorry. I'm not used to this chair at this desk. Okay, so that's a brown sword handle at the moment. Okay. And then, let's see, from there, Drive, how's it going? I just realized you said those are some good times, Shini Wifey. Were you meaning like back whenever I was streaming Dragon Ball Z Dokkan Battle? That was like 2016 going into 2017, I believe. It's going. How are you? I'm doing all right. I'm doing all right. We're doing some painting. We're doing some painting today. I don't know how long you've been here, but we are finishing up this model right here. I'm pretty excited about her. Still kind of working on some stuff. I'm currently working on the handle of her sword. The DBZ days. Yeah. Those were a lot of fun. I remember my most exciting stream ever. I had loaded up the game. My painting looks a lot better than yours. Well, thank you. Thank you. I've seen some of your painting though, Strive. It's not bad. You've got some pretty good stuff. I've had a lot of practice. I've painted quite a few things now. And I've been doing not necessarily miniature painting, but I've been doing art related things almost my entire life. I've been very artistically inclined most of my life. I tend to gravitate towards artistic endeavors. I really enjoy those types of things. I think I'm going to use... Is this the one I want? Not yet. Hold on. Okay. So we're going to use a little bit of this desert yellow. And we're going to leave most of the browns behind on the handle, but we're gonna add this kind of neutral mustardy yellow. You're gonna see Super Mario Galaxy at 1:45 on Sunday. Nice. We were debating if we wanted to try to see it on Saturday or Sunday or something. We debated for a little bit seeing it tonight. It was like on our list of maybe things to do, and then we decided not to. I haven't even seen the first Mario movie. I really enjoyed it. I know a lot of people were upset about various things, probably casting being one of the big ones, but I really enjoyed it. We will be doing Easter Sunday. I don't know what your debate was. I thought we were like on the fence of whether we wanted to do Saturday or Sunday. I'm okay with either one. I'm not gonna be like mad that we're doing one or the other. Yeah, I love the Mario movie. I think it was a lot of fun. I think it touched on a lot of the important things that should happen in a Mario movie. Oh no, Tall Toast, you're spoiling things. I know that they revealed it, but I had asked Shini Wifey the other day if she wanted me to tell her this character that was going to be in it, and she said no. So I know it's not a technical spoiler, but some people are still avoiding those types of things. Because I had seen the reveal, and I was like, oh man, I was like, there's a character I was really not expecting that is that was revealed to be showing up in the movie. And she was like, don't tell me. She was like, I want to be surprised. And now you've ruined it. Did I see the big Nintendo leak / hack? I don't believe I did, actually. I saw something about Anthropic accidentally leaking like a bunch of Claude's code, like the source code or something. Which is, you know, completely unrelated to Nintendo, but it was a hack that I saw stuff about. Ocarina of Time remake, new Star Fox game, new Fire Emblem game, new 3D Mario game in 2027. New Star Fox game is kind of exciting because we haven't had... I feel like it's been a while since we've had a Star Fox game, since like what, the Wii U? Maybe? But out of all of those, I'm most excited for the Star Fox Crystal Adventure. Was that the one? Was that the one on GameCube? Or am I thinking of the wrong? Was that one just called Star Fox Adventure? But out of those four, you said Fire Emblem game is the one I'm personally most excited for. Is Fortune's Weave the one that was leaked? I mean, announced, but also potentially the one that was like in the leaks or whatever. I haven't actually been paying attention to some of the new ones. The last one I've played is Three Houses. Oh, I take that back. Was Fire Emblem... What was it? It was like... Was it just called Fire Emblem Warriors or something? It was like a Dynasty Warriors style Fire Emblem game. I don't remember if that came after Three Houses or not, but I have played that one. But there was one, I believe, after that where, like, the main characters had, like, half red, half blue hair, and that kind of threw me off a little bit. I mean, maybe the gameplay is still amazing, but it just Toothpaste Chan. They got Pepsi hair. Toothpaste Chan. Yeah, so like I saw like the first trailer for those and was like, what the heck? And then I never even checked them out at all. All right, so kind of quick and dirty non-metallic metal on the sword handle. I actually like that quite a bit. I started with a brown, worked up through desert yellow, which is kind of a mustardy brown. It says ochres and tans in the corner, but you know, kind of a mustardy color. Then we went up into demonic yellow, which is a pretty saturated yellow, I would say. And then we went all the way up to ice yellow, which is a very almost white yellow. It's very like desaturated. But we just kind of used a little bit less of each color as we went on the handle. And now the sword looks a lot better, I believe. So I think I got a little bit of work to do on her face, and then she's probably going to be mostly done. Apparently the Star Fox game is going to be like a modernized version of Star Fox 64, and even has a classic mode, which I believe most Star Fox fans would probably argue that Star Fox 64 was one of the best ones. It's one of the only Star Fox games I've actually played. I was actually just watching one of my buddies streaming the other night, and he was playing Star Fox 64. I think he may have been on an emulator or something. It had like achievements and stuff. Oh, maybe he was playing on the Switch online emulator then, because I wasn't actually paying attention to how he was playing it, but there was like achievement type pop-up things that were, there was like a leaderboard or something. I don't know, maybe he was playing it some completely illegal way too, who knows. But anyways, I was just watching my buddy, his Twitch username is purple_Mando, I believe. I think there's an underscore. And yeah, he was playing some Star Fox 64 just like 2 nights ago. Does no one play Pokemon? I think a few people in this group play Pokemon. Strive, I believe you play Pokemon. Actually, now that I'm saying that out loud, I don't actually know if we've ever talked about Pokemon. Oh, and Taltos is playing Pokopia? Is that how it's pronounced? That's the one that's like the Animal Crossing-esque. I don't know, is that like, is there like a genre of games that is? Like, I don't understand. Animal Crossing, but Pokemon. Okay. Yeah, we do not have a Switch 2 yet. We've talked about if we should get it. Paint your nails, be purty. I paint my nails all the time. Here we go, painting my nails. But painting your nails is a good way to test if your paint is going to have the consistency you want before you put it on your model. Pokopia is the only reason to have a Switch 2, in your opinion? I feel like there weren't very many, like, launch titles? I don't know if that's even quite the right, like, phrasing for that. Trying really hard to be careful and only get her lips and not get, like, red over everything. That feels like really saturated. I feel like I've given her like crazy lipstick, but I picked like a really like dull dark red, basilisk red. Like, this is not like a bright red by any means. Can I bring her closer? Where no, she just gets out of focus. I don't know, maybe it's not too bad. But yeah, I knew that one was Animal Crossing-esque. And then, what is it? Winds and Waves were announced. I believe are going to be Switch 2 only. Sorry. I tried to cough away from the camera, or not the camera, the microphone, but I don't know if I got it quickly enough. Okay, I'm gonna switch to my itty bitty brush. Super addictive gameplay loop for Pokopia. I don't know why I feel like I can't say that word. Man, this is trying to like stabilize my hand as much as possible. I only want to get in the eye socket. Okay, now I need to try to get the other eye. And thank you, Necrotomb. Pokopia. Say fast. Pocopia? Pocopia? Like Euphoria, but Poco? Pocopia? Like in my head, I keep trying to like add an extra like syllable or something. I'm gonna come down there and say it for you. I keep trying to say it Pocopia because it's Pokemon, not Pokemon. I'm just not going to say it anymore. I give up. I quit. So, it's tiny, but I've added some brown to her, basically her eye sockets. I'm gonna try to add basically some white over top of the taco via, but Pocopia. I don't think I'm getting any of that on the model. You say it so deliberately, slur it. I don't know if I can. It, like, really have to emphasize the Pia. Pocopia? I don't know what I'm doing wrong now. I'm just confused. Too much water on my, there's like a drop of water on the end of my brush. There we go. Like on the end of the ferrule. Okay, can I hit just the eye socket area? I can, but can I get whole area or just that one little? Right. If I can get the other side. Copia. Everyone, don't listen to me. I'm being the most mature. Everyone's trying to convince me how to say it. There's no E. I haven't been saying it with an E. Gosh. This other eye. Eye. Nope. Sure can't. You have to really soften the consonant going into Pia. Is it more like like this is me exaggerating, but Pocopia? Like Pocopia? Maybe? I don't know. So I was just being too deliberate on the co. All right, I've learned a new word, Pocopia. It's one of the things Garrick says to me semi-regularly is that he loves the way that I say words, because I mispronounce a lot of things. Well, and to be fair, most of you, maybe not most of you, but in the chat, the way it was being spelled and separated with the dashes was kind of emphasizing the co. He says words like he's never heard them before. There are a lot of words that I've never heard before. There are a lot of words that I've read and never heard in my life, and therefore I say them incorrectly. See if I can fix this area around the eyeball. Maybe. That Donald Glover is Yoshi. Who knows what Yoshi's gonna say? Yeah, hopefully he at least says Yoshi once or twice throughout the movie. In front of mom. What? Also, I know that Super Mario Galaxy is probably it makes sense to be like the next step movie-wise based on like fan reception and stuff. But I am a little bit sad that they're basically like skipping Sunshine. She's trying to protect me from spoilers. Oh. I get it now. I was like, not in front of mom. What? No, Yoshi's been in like the trailers and stuff. I don't feel like that's a big spoiler necessarily. Okay. Yeah, now she has like white eyeballs. Crap. Where's my pen? Ah, here we go. Okay. So then we pull out the Gundam marker. I guess not exactly a pen. It's a very fine tip marker, though. A very, very fine tip. Like, this is not the tip. It's that little tiny... That is a tiny, tiny marker. This is my favorite way to do eyeballs. Because, for me at least, it is way easier to hold a pen, or in this case, you know, a marker, and then come in here and draw some little pupils. Are pupils normally black? No. And that is going to be so tiny that you probably, like, that's probably like pixels on your screen. But she now has pupils in her eyeballs. And yes, Yoshi is Shini Wifey's favorite character. There are, in fact, pixels on your screen. You know what? I believe that. But I'm thinking like each dot of her eye, like based on the scale that I'm seeing on my screen, is probably like a pixel on most screens. It's her eyes are tiny, and I can't really get it any closer to like show it off, if that makes sense. Because like I can bring it closer, but it's just gonna get blurry. Like no one can see this. Ooh, wait, hold on. Can I adjust my focus? I can. There we go. I feel like I did pretty good on those eyes. Are they perfect? No. But she looks like she's looking forward in the direction that she's lunging. So I'm happy with it. All right, so now that I'm back out here, can I get this back into focus? There we go. That wasn't too bad. At that range, I am blind. It is kind of a dab of white, so usually what I'll do is go in with like black and paint around, or like in the eye, the whole eye socket basically, and try to get just a little bit on basically what would be like the eyelashes. But some models, this one especially, have tiny eye sockets. Like this is a realistic scale, whereas something like Warhammer, do I have a Warhammer model? Or even like this model, she has more like anime scale features, like her eyes and stuff. So this one would be, Space Marines have anime eyes, exactly. But like this character has a much larger eye feature in the model, like the way it was modeled, so it's much easier to get like a little bit around the eyelash and stuff. So on this model, I didn't do that. I didn't go with black, but I did a dark brown, mostly because I didn't have any black on my palette, and I didn't want to get out black, just get a tiny drop of it. And then I use white. In this case, I did not have white on my palette, but I had pale sand already on my palette, because that's what I was using to highlight the fur. And my pale sand is a shade off from the matte white. It is considered a light neutral instead of this is a warm gray and white. But as you can see, they're pretty close. They're both very bright. And a lot of people will tell you to use an off-white like this instead of a pure white when you're doing the eyes, because usually people's eyes aren't pure white. In a miniature this small, it's kind of hard to tell anyways. If I used pure white or off-white, like there's so little of it left behind. So yeah, dark color for the eye socket and the eyelashes, white or off-white, just a quick dab, try to get it only in the middle, try to leave a little bit of the eyelash, basically like eyeshadow around it. And then take the marker, the Gundam marker. In my case, there are other brands, but a lot of hobbyists already have, or maybe not already have, but a lot of hobbyists will have or will want something like a Gundam marker, because they maybe also build Gundams and would want you know, a Gundam marker. So just a quick little, I have to scribble a little bit with mine. It's not quite like a dab. It's like I kind of do like an up and down, like vertical scribble to make the pupil. And yeah, that's how I do the eyes. But yeah, I'm pretty happy with this one. This is probably as far as I'm going to take this one. I'm very happy with it. I'm not quite done for the night though. I think I'm going to start something else. I don't want to get into anything too crazy though. I don't want to start like another big project yet. I think I'll do a vote for that for next stream. But I do have, mostly because I need to paint some more of these guys. Did I finish my first stream painting? Not exactly. I was gonna record and do like a video of like, hey, I'm finishing this guy. But here's the one we did on the very first stream. I mostly need to do his eye lenses, and I was going to do like a purple for like the cover of his gun. So I could do that. And I guess I probably need to paint like the rubble on his base and maybe the top of the base too. Nice, Space Greeks. Yeah, I guess. He's an Eldar, I think, right? Oh yeah, you weren't there at that time. But yeah, he's one that like I don't have much left to paint. I could do it during the stream. But what I had considered doing too was I've got a whole bunch of clone troopers. Tons of them. And I was gonna paint in some of the details, like the black in between their armor joints and stuff, and his gun, and just get a few more of these guys painted. Like I literally have like I've got a whole stack of them right here. I just grabbed a few. But I figured these would be good things to pull out whenever I don't really, like if I have like 30 minutes or something left at the end of the stream where I don't have anything else to paint. They are, I mean, honestly, like I did this is a zenithal. So like from underneath, he's got shadows. I sprayed him with black first, and then I sprayed white from above and kind of at like a, I don't know, 45-degree angle. With a really, really bright white, and that gives him some natural looking shading on his armor. So yeah, other than like the little bits of, you know, like his visor should be black, his gun should be, his guns, the gun's kind of bent. But yeah, these guys really don't have very much work left to do on them. It's mostly just taking my time and painting in the black. But I want to paint, like, I don't necessarily want to paint these guys right now, but I want to paint more clone troopers because I kind of have a project coming up for some YouTube videos that it's going to help if I have more of them painted. So they're definitely on my list of things that I need to be painting more of soon. But I also could work on finishing this guy. But yes, the like crest of this helm definitely does remind me of the Bronze Age Greek stuff that you're talking about. I'm assuming that's where they got like their inspiration for it. But I don't know. I know a lot of like the Space Marine stuff, like for the Ultramarines and stuff, are kind of like Roman Roman inspired. I mean, some Space Marines are medieval knights. The Ultramarines are 100% Romans. Oh no, the armor's not Roman, but the tassets and stuff they add for the Ultramarines specifically is definitely Roman. Those little cloth or leather, like it's like, I don't know, 20 leather strips going down the front. That's what the Ultramarines are known for, those kind of accessories. It could be Greek, but Games Workshop has talked about the Roman inspirations. Or Ultramarines. Did I already talk about what I'm excited about coming out soon? A little bit, yeah. We do have more people now than we did when I was first talking about it. But yeah, I was talking about for Star Wars Legion, they did announce a bunch of stuff at Adepticon. We have official Mandalorian army units coming, like a whole faction or sub-faction. I don't know, they're treating it a little bit differently than the main factions. It's not like the Rebels, the Empire, the Clones, or the Separatists. It's almost more like the Shadow Collective, which is its own like special battle force thing. Sorry, excuse me. But the Mandalorians are coming out with, like, you can build your own Mandalorian clan. You can play as like Clan Kryze, so you can have like Bo-Katan and Axe Woves as like leaders. You could run the what is it, the Children of the Watch, I believe is what it's called, with like the Armorer and Paz Vizsla as characters. Din, the Mando, Din Djarin, and Grogu are both, they're already in the game, but they have some new models coming out, it looks like, that can be ran as like a different type of unit. Like right now he's kind of like a mercenary leader, but it looks like you can run him in like the actual Mandalorian battle force thing. Grogu Army Commander. At the moment, I don't know what his new rules are going to be like, but at the moment, he's like a little attachment to the Mandalorian. Like you pay some extra points to bring him along, and he can't be targeted. He can't be killed separately or anything. But if the Mando goes down, then Grogu also goes down, and Grogu turns into like a victory point token, like a bounty token that the other team can grab and claim for extra victory points and stuff. So there's a little bit of risk versus reward by taking him. You could be accidentally giving your opponent an extra victory point. Okay, I base coated the eye lenses with some brown, and then I'm going to come in here and add some orange on top of that. I'm also excited for the Mandalorian movie. I'm one of the people that have pretty much enjoyed all of the different Star Wars shows and stuff. Like, not just like The Mandalorian, but I enjoyed Book of Boba Fett. I enjoyed Skeleton Crew. I enjoyed Acolyte. Were they all perfect? No. Were they all a lot of fun? And would like 10-year-old me have just like been like, this is amazing? Yeah. And that's pretty much what I go into Star Wars for. And most of the shows have definitely done that. Yeah, I like how they're marketing it too. I didn't have to finish this one. You talked me into it. It's too late. I pulled out the Clone Troopers too, but figured I could work on this guy some. I'm not good at doing the fancy islands. Is like I've seen some people go in and like I don't know, like they would have when you finish projects. Me too. Maybe I can basically like the way I've seen them do it, the top half of the eye would still be kind of darker brown. Well, not necessarily brown, but with the colors I'm using, brown makes the most sense. Like a really dull orange. Almost like only the front of the lens is kind of glowing. So sorry. So you get I don't know how well that's coming across. Like, it's brown up at the top, and then it kind of fades into orange at the bottom. And then I need to go back with like a almost pure white and add like a little dot, like I think it's called like a specular highlight. That might not be the right term. But it's kind of like, in like anime eyes, a lot of times like they have like the black pupil, but then there's like that little part of the pupil that's white because there's like a highlight there, and that's kind of what you're doing. Stop flirting in chat, jeez. You can't stop her. She just what she wants. But in theory, I could just go and do like a quick little dot. That might not actually be enough. Get married or something. But we already did that. And neither one of us want to go through that again. That is like so faint. I'm not sure if I like how that came out, but basically how it's going to stay. Free flower girl this time. One thing I think would be neat, and we've talked about this, like the two of us together have talked about this. We both think it'd be kind of neat, but someday it'd be neat to like go to one of the really cool Renaissance fairs and do like a renewing of your vows or whatever. And when I say big one, obviously the one up by you, Taltos, would qualify for that, especially compared to the little dinky one we have here. Yours does keep getting bigger. We are excited to come back again. Hopefully sooner rather than later. It's been a bit since we've been up to it. I don't know if I like the eye lenses like that on this guy, but that's how I've painted them, so that's how they're gonna stay. Oh man, yeah. I've seen so many of his stuff recently, especially with I watch a lot of Sellsword Arts, and so like they started doing min-maxed and stuff. I haven't watched min-maxed yet, but I watch a lot of both of their content and videos and stuff. But yeah, he'd be pretty cool. How did I tangle that up? The cable's like in the chair arm. Okay, so now I want purple. Exclusive shows in Denver. That's a bit of a drive. Only 9 hours. That's what... It's fine. I mean, I've made that drive several times. Oh, whoops. I grabbed the wrong paintbrush. Good thing I didn't start painting with it. I'll start taking the kids to the Close Run Fest. Norman's next weekend. Muskogee's going on every weekend until the beginning of May. I think it'd be fun to... Like, MiniShini's been to several, especially the one here. She's been up to Kansas City a few times. But I think it'd be really fun to get both of them going to different festivals more regularly. Apparently my coworker's sister, NASA guy, owns a like hole-in-the-wall burger place near you. Like he grew up near you and went to WSU. It wouldn't have to be like TJ's Burgers or something like that, would it? Because it'd be kind of hilarious. Like one more wound away from killing this thing and it's just throwing everything at me now. Necrotomb, you can do it. Or I guess your survivors can do it. He's currently playing Kingdom Death Monsters, which is a solo / co-op miniature. I don't know if war game is quite the right term. Like you have survivors and you're trying not to get absolutely murdered by these like crazy monsters. And that's honestly about all I know about it. Some of the minis are kind of risque, kind of leaning into like pinup type stuff sometimes. Hydrate? Oh yeah, give me a second. Oh man. Boss battler's a simple way. Yeah, it's a boss battler type game. I've never played it, so I actually don't know a lot about it. Let's see here. Gotta ban this guy. Where's the ban button? There's the ban button. Da-da-da. Okay. And yeah, I wasn't sure if you fought like small stuff before you got to the boss. Like I really did not know how it was like structured, I guess. Asking Mario, DM me. Yeah. Send me what restaurant. Because obviously we've eaten at a few kind of hole-in-the-wall burger places here, but, you know, probably not all of them. There's quite a few here in town. To remind me how to ban people. I need to make sure you actually have like the right permissions to ban people. I'm also not sure how easy it is to do like on your phone. And luckily it's not too often that it happens. But basically anytime someone comes in here just advertising like click here to get views, like it's just a bot. It may have been someone's real account at some point, but it's just a bot now. There's no reason to let them stay, and anyone accidentally, like they don't usually post like a link, but they usually post like the name of some place, and it's like it has like extra spaces or something so that, you know, they're trying to get past like automated filters. Hit him with a hammer, a ban hammer. That's right. Like they're not gonna provide anything positive for the channel. There's no reason to let them stay. They're just a problem, and I don't want anyone to like accidentally go to one of their stupid sites because they're just trying to scam people. Okay, we've got a nice purple on the shell of that gun now. What do you mean? IT training says always click on every link, as only friends send links. There was, I just saw a post earlier today. It was a meme. I'm in a whole bunch of different IT-related, like, subreddits and stuff. So I'm not sure which one I actually saw it in. But, let's see, hold on. Is this the next shade up? That is not much of a highlight from there, but we're going to do it. But it was basically like, they named a file like 2026 income or pay adjustments or something like that, .pdf.exe or something like that. And they said they sent that out as like one of their phishing attempts inside their own company, and it had like the highest success rate of people clicking on the link that shouldn't click on it. Like even like part of like their security team clicked on the file, and it's like, oh, that's rough. MiniShini fell asleep this time, and not me. Good. She needed some sleep, honestly. she was having an evening earlier. This really doesn't look like I'm highlighting this like at all. That looks like, oh, sorry. That looks like the same shade, really. Try to tease you two for being husband and wife when your spawn is commenting. That's fair. Luckily, the spawn has fallen asleep. I don't know if I really need to go any higher on the highlights on this. Pretty adorable with my laptop in her lap, and she fell asleep on my arm. That is pretty adorable. Highlighting is so subtle, it actually works. It is pretty dang subtle on here. I was trying, like, there's kind of a clear line here of like which side of the gun is like pointed more vertically, and I was trying really hard to keep the highlights above that line or like following that line, and so that way the side of the gun was still kind of just that ever so slight darker shade of purple. I'd considered, so this Mage Cast Magenta was the magenta that I just used, and the only brighter purple I have is this alien purple, and it's a pretty, like, they're both the same, like the second to the bottom on this grade here. It is brighter, but it's like desaturated compared to it. Like it's a completely different color. I don't really have very many purples. So I had Diabolic Plum and then Mage Cast Magenta, which, you know, next to each other you can tell that there's a little bit of a shade difference. But I don't have like a brighter magenta. I could go into pink or something, but I don't know if I want to do that, because like I could go like wicked pink and maybe do like some edge highlighting with that, but this is already what I've used up here for these. I could add some white. I could take a little bit of white. The problem with adding just white is it does desaturate it some. Honestly, we might get something closer to this. It might get brighter, but it will desaturate it a little bit by adding white to it. But it's not a bad idea. I just don't know if I want to go much higher on the purples. I was going to start painting the base so it's not this. I want him to be the bright colors. I don't necessarily need the base to be the bright colors. So I was going to take some dark gray, some deep gray, and paint the base and the little bit of rubble he's standing on. And then I might take a lighter gray. I have some ash gray that I might add a little bit of highlights to the rubble. And then this guy will basically be done. And then that'll be a pretty good place to stop, I think, for him. So let's get this base taken care of. Necrotomb, how's your Kingdom Death going? I know you said you had the boss pretty low, and then he was starting to throw everything at you. Just one. Nice, nice. So is it narrative? Like, do your characters like level up and gain experience and stuff afterwards so that they're potentially more prepared for upcoming monsters and stuff? Or do you basically bring like the same characters each time? Like in my head, I'm trying to compare it to like 5 parsecs from home or 5 leagues from the Borderlands or something like that. I don't know if you've played either of those, but those are kind of what I'm thinking of. New work schedule's killing you, but I'm adjusting. I'm up an hour earlier every day. I'm also on a newer work schedule. And I'm also up an hour earlier every day. And I'm still struggling to adjust, honestly. I'm gonna go crawl in bed and try not to die. All right, man. You have a good night. Thanks for hopping on and joining us. They age and gain benefits. When they reach a certain age, though, they retire. They don't go on hunt. They stay in the settlement. Oh, okay. Because they're all survivors, right? Like that's the idea, and they're all kind of like living in this monster-infested world, right? I don't know. I don't know enough of the lore to be able to make definitive statements about that game. I know some of the monsters look ridiculous, and there are some really, really cool minis for it. And they're a slightly larger scale, too, right? Like, are they like 40 millimeter scale or something? I'm not sure why I think they're bigger. I might be completely wrong. We make a settlement and have to go out and fight monsters for resources. Okay. So I don't know if you've played 5 parsecs from home, for example. But in that one, I'm gonna go ahead and start shaking up some ash gray. But in that one, you build a crew, you get a ship, your crew's in debt because you have a ship, and it's kind of like, in my mind, I'm picturing like Firefly, like those first early episodes when they're like, you know, they're taking on odd jobs. They've got the extra people on board because they're providing them passage and stuff, but they're doing all these random jobs to earn credits and stay flying. Like that's a big point Mal makes, is they, you know, got to keep making money so they can keep flying. And as long as the ship's flying, they're good. And that's kind of what 5 parsecs is. Like, you're in debt for your ship and stuff, and you got to keep earning credits. So every, like, you do like some character development. Like, you do like a pre-game phase, and you can send your guys to the shop. You can go train. You can go try to recruit new characters and stuff. And then you roll up a tabletop battle. You have a battle, and it could be against random things, but it could be against like a rival gang or something. And then you level up and you gain experience, you get new weapons and stuff. And then you keep trying to pay off your ship and stuff. And I really like that. I think that's really cool. I enjoy it quite a bit. So in my mind, like, the way you're describing the settlement is kind of reminding me of that kind of thing. Like, in 5 parsecs, you're managing your crew and your ship. And in this, it's like you have a settlement phase, hunt phase, and showdown phase. Yeah, okay. So the way you have the phases is kind of reminding me of like 5 parsecs has the pre-battle, the battle itself, and then like a post-battle sequence. The campaign broken up into lantern years. Yeah, and some of the minis are just really, really cool looking. And then some of them are definitely, like I think we talked about it a little bit last time, some of them are definitely that like pin-up style. Which isn't bad by any means. Some people really like those. I don't think I've ever painted any pinup style of anything. Getting my brush stuck on. I struggle with like skin tones. And like I think I'd have a really hard time glazing and blending my colors to get good skin tones on them. And I haven't looked at very many of the monsters yet. Those are Crimson Crocodile. All right, hold on. I gotta set this guy down. He's mostly done at this point, but I gotta set him down so I want to Google the Crimson Crocodile. I want to look at this guy. Oh man. That thing is wild. Hold on. Okay, so I found one on Reddit and they have like a skeleton next to the base of it, but that skeleton doesn't seem to be on all of these other ones that I'm looking at. How big is this guy? Like is that like a 60 or a 70 millimeter base or something like that? He's wild. He's got like a crazy long neck for like a normal crocodile type monster. 100 millimeter base? Okay, it was really hard to tell from the pictures. So dang, yeah, he's pretty dang big. Because like this isn't a base, but this is like one of my coasters. This is probably like close to like an 80. So dang. Yeah, so probably about that big ish. I was in ad hell, so what happened? Sorry. I was looking at pictures of the Crimson Crocodile on Google. He's wild looking. Oh, are those a bunch of eyes on the back of his... Oh yeah, wait. Are they? I'm trying to find one. Oh yeah. Everyone's painting those as eyes. I'm assuming those are... He's got like 10 eyes. His long neck is kind of creeping me out because his body is like kind of almost like a stunted crocodile. He's creepy looking. But like his front and back legs are very close together, right? And then actually, hold on, I'm gonna just switch to my other camera so it's easier for me to... So just like front and back legs are crunched together, but then he has like a really long neck and his head's like way up high. But man, if he's on 100 millimeter base... I don't think I have anything with 100 millimeter. How big are like Warhammer Dreadnought bases? That's probably like the biggest base I have. Oh wait, no, I have an Impulsor and a Gladiator tank. I don't know, how big are those bases? Gladiator base is 100 millimeter. Oh my gosh. He's on that big of a... That's insane. Okay, hold on. I gotta go grab that. Okay, so that crocodile is on the same size base as this freaking tank. That is absolutely wild to me. It's a little dusty, but this is a 100mm base. So that is actually, yeah, decent size larger than my coasters. Oh my gosh, that is crazy. And Necrotomb, you can send them in her Discord, or if you aren't afraid to join more Discords, I think we're going to test if I made my bot work correctly. I made a Discord link for my bot. And I also made, because you're over on Twitch, I believe you've already subbed on YouTube as well, but I also made a YouTube bot. And I made a Twitch, or not a bot, but the bot auto posts whenever I send the command. I made a command, that's what I meant to say. Gosh, how tall is that crocodile then? If that's a 100mm base, he's got to be like, what, 4 or 5 inches tall, easy? That is wild. I didn't realize how big are the like characters that you play? I think this guy is about as done as he's gonna get, honestly. I don't think I'm gonna go back to the double zoom. I don't think I'm gonna go any further than this with this guy. It's past 11. I don't think I'm gonna start anything else tonight. But yeah, my Discord is still growing. It's very small compared to Mini's. It's not super active. There's a handful of people like Strive, who was in the chat earlier. He's in there. Taltos is in there. A couple of my local friends are in there, and that's about it so far. I'm still kind of working on growing my community and everything. And I'm not trying to steal you away from Miniature Graveyard or anything like that, but you're definitely welcome to hang out in our Discord as well if you want. But yeah. So yeah, what? Just joking the diss. Did you post something in there? I haven't clicked on it yet. Yeah, how big are the... Oh, joining. Just joining the disc. No, you're good, you're good. How big are the like hero characters in Kingdom Death? Like, are they like similar size to like Warhammer minis? Or are they a different scale? Like, are they larger? Or is that crocodile like absolutely gigantic next to your survivors? 30mm, they got scope crept recently, so I don't know. 30mm. I want to say that's like reasonably close in scale to maybe like an Imperial Guard big. Oh my gosh. Yeah, so not Space Marine tall, but like normal person tall. That's wild. Oh man, excuse me. So I have a standard Space Marine here. So you got normal Space Marine. This is a preview of something I've recorded, but I have not made the video yet. And then, yeah, I guess this clone trooper's almost the same height. He shouldn't be that tall comparatively. I was thinking his scale was going to be smaller, but I guess Legion scale is slightly bigger than Warhammer scale. Huh. But yeah, after painting that Space Marine Lieutenant recently, I wanted to paint some more Salamanders, and I had some Infernus Marines that I had not painted yet, so I started airbrushing those guys, and I have a squad of 5 different ones that I'm pretty excited about. They're not done, obviously, but I basically airbrushed them solid green and then zenithal to lighter green from above, to give them just a little bit of highlight, because as you can see here, this is really dark green, and then that's a much lighter green from above. So I'm gonna go back and paint some details afterwards, like get his purity seals, leather on his belts and stuff, his Aquila, his gun, you know, all that kind of stuff. So I'm gonna go back and paint details, but honestly, like, airbrushing just these 2 colors was super fast and really easy to do, and so I feel like I'm like, I don't know, 60 or 70% of the way done with these guys. Especially just to have a squad of them. But I think I'm gonna, I don't really play Warhammer anymore. I think I'm gonna use them primarily for like 5 parsecs from home, and have them plus the lieutenant I painted be like, because they'll be like a squad of enemies, and then the lieutenant can be like a special version of those same enemies. That, like, he can be like a lieutenant or not a lieutenant, what do they call him? Because you can have a sergeant, like you can have normal enemies and then a sergeant, and then you can have like a special character that joins, and they're usually like much stronger than the rest of the guys. And I don't remember exactly, it's been a while since I've played. I don't remember exactly how the rules label them differently, but it's pretty neat. And so I think those will work pretty well for like one of the factions. But yeah, I think that's probably gonna be it for tonight, though. We made some great progress. We basically finished up the I know I'm not on the mini camera, but we basically finished up both of these minis, so I'm gonna have to get some pictures taken, and get some stuff cleaned up down here. I gotta clean up my brushes and everything before I go to bed. Here, you know what? Let's go ahead and switch back to the camera again so I can show off both of the ones that we've finished tonight. So this guy was who I started on my very first stream on this channel, and so I am excited to finally have him like done. And then the Swordswoman, we started during last week's stream, and I'm really pleased with how she turned out as well. Vaporwave alien, basically, Garrick, you are not wrong. So yeah, I need to get some pictures taken, get my brushes cleaned out and everything, and then I need to get to bed. So thank you everyone for watching, really appreciate it. Thanks Necrotomb for joining my Discord and everything too. Thanks Shini Wifey, Garrick, Anthony, Swisher, yeah, is it 8286 I believe. I'm trying to remember what his stupid username is. Taltos was here, Offset was here earlier. We've had a really good turnout tonight overall. So thanks everyone for hanging out, and I'll see you next time. Oh yeah, and I gotta thank MiniShini. She was one of the very first ones in the chat. even with some technical difficulties. She was here early. She was up in bed with the laptop ready to watch like 30 minutes before I was even ready to set up. Like, she was ready to go. So yes, thank you, MiniShini, for being here and cheering me on the whole time, and, you know, chatting with everyone. So see you guys next time.